Welcome to the program. Now, the Committee of the Whole House has approved the President's Memorandum on the Kenya Information and Communications Amendment Bill of 2013 without amendments.
What this means is that the Kika bill has been passed with the President's recommendations despite efforts by the media fraternity to have the bill amended again. The President's memo was passed as members of the opposition walked out of Parliament in protest.
You did not give us a chance to contribute at all. I want to know whether we've changed the rules of this house so that members are gagged, that we are not going to debate the way you are gagging the media. Chair, we want to know whether this is a scheme for you to gag us the way you are gagging the media. The recommendation of His Excellency the President on Clause 7 be approved. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
Honorable members, I propose the recommendation of His Excellency the President on Clause 17 be approved. Honorable members, I put the question that the proposal, the recommendation of His Excellency of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Presidential Memorandum on the Kenya Information and Communications Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2013, and approved the same without amendments.
Now, the tension and unrest that has been witnessed between the Pokot and the Turkana communities living in Takwel and Logoron has subsided with the development of security agents in the area. Now, the main Kapenguria-Lodwar road that had been closed has now been cleared, and police are pursuing bandits who have been involved in criminal activities in the area. Now, the latest update from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government also released an update on the security situation in Moyale and Baringo. The National Police Service has mounted an operation with a view of restoring security in Baringo and brings culprits who ambushed administration police officers on the third day of December. Security has also been beefed up in Moyale after a long-standing conflict between various communities threatening to get out of hand after a number of people were injured in the attacks. 20 looters have so far been arrested and an assortment of goods recovered, with police pursuing other criminals in the region.
A preliminary report monitoring police reforms shows that an estimated 150 billion shillings have been lost in a decade through corruption in procurement. The report that was commissioned by the Usalama Reforms Forum states that since 2003, nearly 15 to 20% of the police budget for every financial year has been either irregularly spent or lost, which transforms to an estimated annual loss of 10 to 15 billion shillings, and that's every year. The report also indicates that crime has risen annually by 7% in the last 10 years, and people do not feel safe in their own homes, villages, or even churches, and more so public places.
There are officers that are corrupt within the service, not all of them, but it depends with the kind of corruption in the service. There are two kinds of corruption in the service. There is a corruption that we know on the street, that officers are taking money from the public and all that, and traffic and things like that. There is the corruption that takes place at the police station to access services, where people come in, they have to give police officers something to attend to them and things like that. Then there is the corruption that takes place in the procurement process, which is, to me, is the main problem, because the amount of money lost through procurement process is so huge, yet the public are not getting value for money.
Corruption, it is there, but most of it also, I think it is on perception, but we have got cases of corruption, we have got evidence, and I've just mentioned that the Inspector General has got a report, and he's addressing the report. So those corruption cases are there. But still, to my own assessment, it is not the entire service. It is not even half of it.
With Nairobi set to switch to digital broadcasting by Friday next week, InfoTrack has today released a survey report on what the public thinks of the switch. Now, in the report, 64% of Nairobians of the survey respondents prefer CCK to effect the switch from analog to digital signals in June of 2014. Now, they say the switch should be delayed and the price of the set-top boxes reduced below 2,000 shillings.
In the unlikely event they do that on 13th of December, you will never get the transmission on analog through that. And in fact, it can extend the Kiambu place you want to talk about, because there's no boundary, physical boundary that can say this fellow in Kiambu beginning from here will be off.
Those who are more informed, the highly educated, were more prepared for the digital migration than those who have less, education levels. Up to primary level, you see that their preparedness for digital migration is very low. Only 33%, 39% said they were actually prepared.
From digital migration to the arts, where various actors in the arts industry were last night awarded for their excellence in the acting scene during the Sanaa Theatre Awards 2013. And this was at Alliance Francaise, organized by Kenya Cultural Center-based initiative. Two on communication as well. The event organized to recognize various talents and achievements in theatre arts, improve quality, propagate creativity, and stimulate business within the theatre circles. It also meant to recognize the role of theatre in behavioral and health intervention in Kenya since independence. Zuleka Nyango of Kenya Kona was awarded the Best Female Comedian, together with Teacher Wanjiko of Churchill Show. Simon Oyatsi of Uzinduzi Production was declared the Best Actor, while Nice Gidinji of Phoenix Players was recognized as the Best Actress.
We have the representative for Zuleka.
When Kenya is celebrating 50 years of independence, and we said, why not give the theatre artists something to smile with the rest of the country? So what we did also was to make sure that we were more inclusive, so that it was not just artists on the stage, but also artists who are using theatre to change behavior.
I think it is also an incentive for people to go more to theatre and to expand their minds.
Now, at the time when the colonialists were the only people with real money, it was pretty hard for Africans to make any big financial startups. But a group of daring Kenyans came together to pool finances in the first African-owned cooperative society.
Here now are the details from our Nyeri-based reporter, Karonderi.
Having a fully African-owned cooperative in Kenya before she attained her independence was no mean feat. But Tetu Dairymen in Nyeri County earned itself a position in the Roll of Honours for establishing its base in 1948, 15 years before independence. At a time when the British colonialists called the shots in the pre-independence era, it was quite an achievement for the dairymen in Tetu, Nyeri County. They got a little help at first, but later organized themselves to form a formidable all-African team.
Baada ya kupata shida kubwa, waliongea na mzungu mmoja alikuwa district cooperative officer, wakasema shida yao, alafu wakapatiwa kiwanja hapa opposite ya Nyeri district cooperative building. Walipopatiwa waliungana.
Solomon Mugutu, who hails from Kigogoine in Tetu, worked for Tetu Dairymen for 13 years and shared with us the travails they encountered in search of self-sustenance. They had no boilers or even refrigerators to preserve the milk and would often hawk it to buyers in Nyeri town.
Ng'ombe ndizo zilikuwa nguzo ya wazee hapa. Utajiri wote wa wazee ni ilikuwa ng'ombe. Ilikuwa mwaka wa 1946-47 wazee walikuwa nakamua maziwa na kuleta hapa kwa town. na ilikuwa shida sana sababu walikuwa wanasugusha maziwa kwa majengo.
But that did not dampen their spirit and they forged on.
Maziwa yote ilikuwa inakuja hapa, inakuwa nawekwa baridi, alafu saa 8 ya usiku napelekwa Nairobi. Roli 3. Sasa tuko mbele sana. Sababu hata hii deli iko mbele sana.
Tetu Dairymen is not only famed for its driven Kenyan organizers. Very few people in today's generation know that this is where Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi worked as a clerk and later a manager before he dropped everything and joined the forest to mobilize Mau Mau fighters.
Alafu 1950 Kimathi aliandikwa secretary manager na senior chief Mohoya. Alafu siku ya emergency ilianza kuingia. Yeye nawasha kazi na kwenda pande ya Nyahururu. Anafuta kazi.
What kind of a person was Dedan Kimathi?
Yeye alikuwa mtu ya bidii. Alikuwa mzee ya bidii sana.
It has not been an easy journey, as the current chairman Francis Wamugonda says. It was debt-ridden and it needed a turnaround badly.
The milk industry is very good, despite farmers are those who have run away because they were not paid for those previous years.
A 6.5 million shillings debt had set Tetu Dairymen back, but all is not lost.
Tunajivunia sana sababu watoto ya baba zetu kama sisi tumesoma sababu ya maziwa.
He says adequate facilities to convert excess milk into milk powder should be acquired to propel the industry forward, as often when there is glut, milk is wasted.
Watu wa ugane. Kama watu yote na ugana na natengeneza dairy kama ni ikiwa kama ni self help group, wanatengeneza magroup, alafu wananunua gari hata kwa nchi nzima. Tutakuwa tukiuza maziwa ng'ambo, kuuza hapa, kutengeneza ya uga, napeleka kama mahali kama Somalia, huko Sudan, maziwa ya unga mahali hapana iko ng'ombe. Tutakuwa tukisaidia watu sana.
Being the first fully African-owned cooperative, not just here in central Kenya, but in the entire country, Tetu Dairy has come a long way. And despite the challenges and hurdles faced by the dairy farmer, they say they are optimistic that the industry can only flourish and get better. Carol Nderi for KTN in Nyeri County.
Welcome back to the program. We are just in time to have our afternoon business chat. You're on the news desk, and today we're talking about affordable housing. The housing need is ever present with us. We're talking about a deficit of just about 150,000 units every year. Couple that with what has been accumulated over the years. And to help us understand affordable housing solutions is Alex Mwema from the Tunya Enterprises. Karibu sana, Alex.
Asante sana bana.
Alex, a lot of Kenyans cannot afford housing. And a lot of people like you in the property space are creating units, but in the higher end of the market. Why has it been not attractive for investors and property developers not to go into the low-cost housing space?
What happens is that, you know, if you're a businessman, you go for profits.
Right.
And people have been mistakenly thinking that the higher end, if you get profits.
Right.
But that's per unit. Because when you go to the lower unit, the houses are cheaper, but if you get the numbers right, you can be able to still make the same profit.
So for the low cost is volumes?
Yes, volumes.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically people are going for the high end because it's easier to make a quick buck.
Yeah, but now they've also started going for the middle. But we should, in the long run, go to the three sectors. Right. You have the higher end, the middle, and concentrate more on the low end because, as you see, the numbers make the money.
Alex, when you talk about low-cost housing, what is the price range you're talking about?
You talk about 1 million to, I think, 3 million.
Right.
Yes.
Are financial institutions willing to back these kinds of investments?
Yes, if you look at, you know, banks used to be elitist there before, but now they have seen from the model of banks like Equity that the money is in the small man, the low-income earners.
Right.
So what happens is that banks are now started financing the low-cost housing, maybe by way of first building, giving somebody a loan to buy a plot, then financing them to do either step-by-step construction,
right?
Or as you construct, you are given, let's say, a house is 3 million.
Right.
You do a foundation. You go to present a certificate, you are given money for the next stage, until you are through.
Right.
And that has been able to be done.
Alex, whenever we talk about low-cost housing and affordability, and we talk about property at that particular range, you're talking about people using 1/8 of a plot to build. Whenever you want to invest in such kind of a property, there's an issue of how sure are you that due diligence has been done? How sure are you that whatever piece of land you're buying has the right title? I mean, looking at the Syokimau incident, what assurances can investors have? Because I think that is an area that they're shying away. And what assurances do financiers have in saying we can back this project because we know, hey, the paperwork is right?
Diligence. Right. What happens is if you're buying a plot, it's your money and money at that. So what happens is that you want to buy a plot, first as a person, you go and look at there are two ways of doing diligence. Right. First, look at the property. If it's a piece of land, you can visit it. Are there squatters? Is there evidence of conflict?
Right.
So if the land looks like it's okay, is there water? Is it near a river? Because that can be a riparian issue.
Yes.
Is it near a road? Yeah, you can even ask the neighbors. That's the physical verification now.
Right.
And you can even use maybe a professional like a surveyor to help you with that.
Go and help you do that.
Then number 2, there's the documentation. You ask for a copy of title, because one thing, not buy land without title.
Right.
Whatever promises are there, don't buy land without title, because there are people like in Makazo are waiting for the titles for 20 years now.
Right.
So first, don't get the title.
All right.
Then from there, visit the land registry.
Right.
You are safe, or your lawyer.
Yes, to verify the title, and then you can go ahead and buy that particular land. All right, Alex, and Ndetani is trying to set up a particular show that will invite the low-cost people, the more 90, the you and me, to come and invest in houses. Chance for a free ad. When is that happening, and who can come?
Yes, we have been having expos in Kitengela. This is the second one we're running, and we're doing it from 13th, 14th, and 15th of this month. Out there, Kitengela is a place called UCOS, our opening ground.
Right.
This will help people to come and see, like now, first of all, appreciate the neighborhood, what's available there.
Right.
Then number 2, touch the land. I mean, work on the land.
Right.
Rather than being told in Nairobi, oh, the land is Kitengela or is in Kajiado. Go, because when you talk about Kitengela,
visit the place and actually see it.
Yes.
All right, Alex.
And do one-to-one talk on the ground.
Great. Alex, our time is out in less than 10 seconds. If you could list the areas where potential investors who want to buy and invest in low-cost housing can look out for, what are these areas roughly in Nairobi?
It would be the peri-urban areas, 1 Embakasi, 2 at the river, 3 Kitengela, Gong, Kiserian.
Right.
Those areas are opening up very well, because even you find that even universities are going there, so they are pulling out people out there, and it will decongest Nairobi.
Right.
That's where the activity will be in the next 3, 4, 5 years to go.
So
and you find the prices are also going up very fast, but you've got cheap ones at 300, which of course will rise up with time.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so people need to start small.
Yes.
All right, Alex Mwema from Ndetani Enterprises, they are setting up and property expo that is coming up next week on the 13th. Go out there and check out what piece of property you can afford. You and I need to be looking at these particular areas, because that is where we can afford. Edith?
See you at Kitengela for Nyama Choma.
Right, let's revisit that story from the Maendeleo Wanawake offices, where there was confusion this morning after 2 splinter groups showed up for elections of new officials, only to find doors of the organization closed. It later emerged that one group had locked themselves in and conducted the elections without the participation of the other. Representatives from all 47 counties protested the decision that was made in closed doors, saying they are unhappy with how the organization has been carrying out its affairs for the past 7 years. The women claim the money they have been contributing to the organization has not been accounted for. Let's have a look at the sport now. And the Kasarani Stadium Wednesday evening was officially unveiled after multi-million shilling branding deal with the Sports Stadium Management Board that will see the stadium now known as the Safaricom Stadium Kasarani. Victor Ogale has the latest on the report.
Safaricom Limited and the Sports Stadium Management Board went ahead Wednesday evening to unveil the 210 multi-million deal Safaricom Stadium Kasarani, hours after Parliament had questioned the naming rights deal. The deal started in May when the SSMB tendered out, and out of 10 corporates, Safaricom emerged at the top and was awarded according to the state corporation procurement laws.
Speaker, the matter before the House is a very serious matter. Speaker, we are celebrating 50 years of our independence. And Mr. Speaker, we are changing the name of important leaders for 55 million. Speaker, Safaricom gets billions from our people. Speaker, they should even pay more.
Questions raised by Parliament did little to stop the program.
This is a public-private partnership that aims to strengthen Kenya's position as a leading host of sporting events, as well as to motivate the country's widespread talent in a variety of sporting disciplines.
For the board to achieve this mandate, there is need to mobilize resources both from the government and the corporate world. The world over, stadiums have utilized the concept of naming and branding rights in order to generate revenue to carry out their mandates.
The deal was worth 210 million shillings, where 55 million was directly remitted to the SSMB as naming and branding fees, while 155 million shillings was channeled towards the branding and the rehabilitation of the main stadium and the Ido Arena. The launch also had its fair share of pomp and color, with Safaricom CEO Bob Collymore and former world record holder Paul Terga taking on each other on the red Kasarani truck. It was not clear why Sports Cabinet Secretary Hassan Wario skipped the ceremony, but Sports Commissioner Gordon Olwach represented him.
This is the way to go. And I say this with a lot of emphasis because this is the period where we are evolving into our county governments. And each county is very proud of their stadia. And each county wants to develop their stadia.
Under the deal, Safaricom has remained the main stadium to Safaricom Stadium Kasarani, home of heroes, and the indoor gymnasium to Safaricom Indoor Arena. The selling of branding rights by the Sports Stadium Management Board to Safaricom should come as an eye-opener to county governments, as can also enter into similar ventures in future. Victor Ogale, KTN, Nairobi.
Well, that's where we wind up this edition of KTN Newsdesk. Let's give you your Did You Know fact.
Okay.
Did you know a man once rescued a newborn baby from a dumpster only to find out the baby was his own?
How sad. Wow.
Exactly.
Right. There's a story that you and I need to be following, and everyone else, that is on standardmedia.co.ke, and it is about the NSSF bill that is awaiting signing by the president, that proposes 6% of your salary in deductions. Let us know what you think about.
They're saying for every 100 shillings you earn, then
six shilling goes, you know. So let us know what you think about that. The handle is at KTN Newsdesk. We'll be glad to engage with you on that particular topic.
My name is Edith Kimani. Good afternoon.
My name is Bonny Tunya. Good afternoon.